Alright guys, the infamous day has come. We are finally got our new torque converter and we got a new pump for the 2007 Mustang, which the anti-leak stuff or anti-slip did not work. I had a feeling it wasn't, but at least it got me moving. So right now we're walking to the Mustang and transferring some of the parts that I got in the back of the Mercedes to this car. And yeah, we got a new pump. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Sonnen Racing, but we went and got Sonnen Racing torque converter and a Sonnen valve body on the bottom, and also for the pump it's a Sonnen. And the main reason we're doing this is because I've done a lot of work to the car already. It's got ported heads, ported block, and bored out also. So the thing is, I'll probably include a little video here to give you guys an upgrade on what torque converters do and pumps and why they all relate to engine speed. The stock car only had 1100 RPM for stall speed on the torque converter. What that means is when your car is at 5,000 RPMs or 9 or 7 and you're trying to rip, you have to wait for that torque converter to speed up. But if it's at higher stall speed, you don't really have to worry about it as much. So luckily the new torque converter we got goes to 3,000, so it's not gonna be as snappy as I want and everything, but it's definitely a good upgrade for the turbo on there. So we're propping that up. And then also this new valve body should be a lot faster on shifting. And this should also hopefully fix our reverse problem. So we'll see how this goes. Update you guys as we go. All right, here we go. We made it to the Mustang. So let me explain a little bit about why we're doing this in the first place. When you shift in reverse, we got some motion, but not when I kick. When I go into drive, I get a little bit of pulling. So I don't have those two gears. So as we're building this race car now, we definitely need gears. So I built the bottom end. This is the first time I've ever done a transmission before. Earlier this year when I didn't have the problem, some of the problems were just kind of way worse than this. I ended up actually redoing the valve body on their whole, the servo system, everything, reverse servo. So this is into the final parts of where I've never done shit like this before. So, because transmission's not my specialty. So here is our fully, all right, we are here and starting to jack up the car. So first thing is going to be disconnecting all of the connectors. There's about 4 of them, speed sensors, with main control 15-pin thing. And then there's another speed control. So as I lift the car, all 3 of those will be disconnected. And I'll try to film some of this as we're going. So let's get to it. It's going to be fun. Also, this car is lowered, so about 2 inches off the ground. So there's a little bit of work there too. All right, we got the car in the air. We got some chocks behind there. Reason being, because when you disconnect this drive shaft, the car will run or move without you wanting it to, just because there's nothing holding the rear end together. So, also, this is not an instruction for you to try at home. If you get hurt, you can. If you don't know what you're doing, be careful. As you can see, I have a lot of jack supports here, just in case. Especially since my car is so low that I just don't want to get crushed. So right here, this is what we're going to be disconnecting. Right here, these 4 bolts. You disconnect the drive shaft, be the first part. Then we're taking out the rest of these sensors, disconnecting them. And this sensor in the front here, both of those will be coming off. And then from there, taking out the starter. And then after that, guys, just taking out 4 bolts from the torque converter, and then this side support, and then taking out the rest of those bolts right there. Should be 8 of them. So we'll see how this all goes. See ya. All right, first things first, since we're disconnecting the starter and there's a lot of electrical connections here, the first thing you want to do is disconnect your battery. Do that one and the positive, just because I don't want any mistakes. I already make enough of those on my own. So now let's get to the starter. All right, and right there's the starter. I have a high torque starter because it's a brand new engine. It had a couple of issues. Looks like I got a couple leaks down here too, so I'm gonna clean that up today and hopefully see no more leaks. So go ahead and do those 2 bolts, and you also have a wire up top, be your grounding wire and your starter wire. So I'm gonna take those all out. Okay, my starter is removed, and I'm just gonna tuck it up there. I don't even feel like disconnecting or anything, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Battery's plugged in. So the little bolt right there on the top, you're gonna have to keep rolling this right here with the pry bar or something. And there's 4 bolts that you have to take out. And this is so you can disconnect the torque converter from the transmission from the engine. So that's the flywheel. So let me go ahead and get to that. Alright, so it's a little difficult to show you guys here, but that's the last torque bolt. And the way I did this is I just put a bolt right here, put a wrench onto this crankshaft, and I just rotated it until I got the window for each one of these. So that's how that happened. You can use a crowbar or something else to pry it in there, but I just choose not to do that. I don't want to hit my teeth at all. So on to the next. We will start taking out some of these bolts here just because we have easy access to them. And then we will start going through all these connectors and start taking them out. And possibly the O2 sensors, just so I don't have to worry about them getting damaged. That right there is an O2 sensor, just in case you guys didn't know. Well, all right. About 2 hours in here. Training's almost about to come out. These bolts right here were the most stubborn. It's gonna get the most dirt and everything else. So this is the last one. Had to use some foot force on this, but you know, I got what I wanted. I think I broke the socket though doing it. I'm surprised it almost didn't snap. All right, well, let me get to the next portion, see where we're at. Get the rest of these wires disconnected, and after that we got like 6 more bolts, and this thing's coming out, guys. Woo! And they said this was a $3,000 job in 6 hours. I'm gonna do this shit in 4. All right, welcome to the Cold Blair Witch Project. Transmission's almost there, guys. Come with me in the wonderful world of cars. As you can see now, we have separation. Cross members taken out. Switches, speed control sensors are all being disconnected. And it's coming out, guys. I'll show you guys the part.
I haven't had a bloody bruise in a while. That's fucking nice.
We dropped the transmission on Eric's hand. He didn't like that very much.
I'm good.
All right. One-handed drilling. NASCAR. So, this is the pump, guys. The hissing sound of the noise. These are my problems. So we're gonna pull this and replace it. Also, this is the old stock converter. Nothing fancy at all. Yep, here we go. All right, it was a little too cold last night, so I'm starting back up here. So we're into a little bit of a problem trying to get this pump out. It's generated with these things for a long time. It takes a lot of heat to get them out, a lot of pressure, and there's nothing to grab onto. So originally I was gonna weld something to it, which I might, but I'm gonna pray that this works too. So that's what I did. I grabbed this plumbing right here that I am screwing onto this. And then from there, I bought this giant hook clamp. And I'm gonna hook onto this and hopefully pull out. First time doing anything. Well, wish me luck, guys. Here we go. And this is the contraption I have come up with. It's onto the back of my neck. This puller goes onto the front. And normally I have a puller that has like 2 clamps that go on this side and it pulls out from the center. But can't find those anywhere. So this is what we're doing. Who doesn't like good fire? Alright, let's see these bolts on. Wow. Holy shit, that worked. So, maybe you don't have to do as extreme as I did, but it worked for me. I welded this onto here, put the little bracket onto this, and then hook that up to the other pulley, which allowed that to stick onto that. That made that come out. Fuck yeah. Got the job done. Next step, put the new pump in. If you have trouble putting your gasket on, dip the pump in some oil first before you throw it in. Just a little reminder. All right, it's going in. Let's go. Well, guess what, guys? It's in. Torque converter's in, pump's in. Time to put this thing back together. When you do your torque converter, make sure you never put it in dry. You have nothing but problems. You know, it needs a little bit to start and keep the momentum and balance in it, and also needs a lubrication. So, do that. And then now, I'm about to lift this mother myself. Beast mode. All right, for you guys that might be curious, how's one man put in a 300-pound transmission? This is how I leverage. I have this jack here, plank of wood, jacked it up from the rear, put a block of wood towards the front, and now I got a jack on the front. I'm gonna tilt it forward, get that jack underneath it, and that's going up. You know, it takes a little bit of checking around, but see? Slowly, but surely, it's getting up in there.